How's it going, everybody? We just finished the video of creating your sending options inside the automation actions panel here, and we're going to move on to conditions and workflow. And then in what I do, and probably in what you guys do, this is one of the most useful sets of features inside the whole CRM. Is how you can conditionally split, delay, trigger, fork, do several different things with the follow-up, all based on how they interact with your content and things like that. So it's really, really exciting. The first one we're going to go over is your basic one, which is wait. This is how you delay emails going out. Let's say you have an email that goes out um, every day or every other day or something like that. You say wait for 1 day in between your emails here. You can do this as many times as you want, like that. And you can do it in terms of days, minutes, hours, weeks, months, years. You get it. So it's pretty cool. And you can do a lot of things with that. What people, I think, like to do is separate out their text messages and their emails. So let's say the email goes out right away and the text message goes out 3 minutes later or 2 minutes later, and then the notification goes out to you right away to pick up the phone and call them. Something cool like that. The next one are if-else. If-else is one of the two ways to split apart your follow-up based on whether your prospects qualify for certain things. So I'm just going to start this up and give an example here. So I just clicked on create an if-else statement based on, it can be either contact details, which is all their information here, or their tag. It can be based on the custom fields that you created, like for your CRM or for your follow-up campaigns or your segmentation. It can be based on actions, like whether people have clicked on a link in your emails or have opened your emails or have not opened them, shared them socially, are in a list, are not in a list. So it's very cool. And you have a lot of options with the actions based on geography, right? So based on where their country is or their area zip code, this is going to be put into their CRM in a variety of ways. And based on site and event data, so if they visited certain websites, web pages on your website, like the thank you page or the cart or something like that. If they came from an iPhone versus an Android device, or on a smartphone versus a laptop, how many times they've been to your website or a specific page, or simply a redirect. So there's lots of different things you can do there. And then, of course, date and time automations, which are great. So you can split apart, based on what year it is, based on what day it is. So time-based splits are good there. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to split this up in terms of whether they've clicked on a link or not. Okay. So I'm going to say in any campaign, in any link, because you can segment this out further if you have to, but I'm just going to go as simple as I can here. So if they've clicked on any link in any one of my emails, so if the answer is yes, they have clicked on my link, you have a series of things that can pop up, like, thank you for opening my email. Never say that, but something like that, where you say, thanks for checking out the video, or thanks for going to our survey. This is a great way to track when people go to, for example, links on your blog without actually having the code on your blog page. And the second one is the no, which is basically like business as usual, right? So if they didn't click on this, they would just get the next email in the sequence, and then it would just continue onward like that. This is one of the ways that you can split apart your campaigns based on how people have interacted with your content. The other way is with a split. So a split test is simply, and there's two ways you can split. So you can either split down the middle, or you can split based on conditional logic. But if it's an even split, it's basically saying that 50% of the traffic will go to the one follow-up, and 50% will go to the other follow-up. And it's just like there's no real, logic, or it's like 50-50. And the conditional split is basically saying that, based on how people respond to the content, a certain percentage will go to one follow-up and a certain percentage will go to the other. We'll just do the even for right now. And we'll say, we'll split we'll continually split test this, or we can do just the 300 contacts. You can specify the conditions of victory, which are basically, conditional things that we don't have to do that right now. We can just split indefinitely and apply, just so you can see how it works. Right, so it's test A and test B, and it's just if 50% chance that a contact is going to end up in this batch, 50% to this one. This is how you can track to see which follow-up campaign that you're using yields the best results. Because if it's a completely random split down the middle, then you can get a sense that, okay, well, if B is getting twice as many click-throughs as A, stop doing A and focus on making B a little bit better and do more segmentations like that. That's how you build the perfect marketing system. I'll say this probably 100 times in these courses. It's never going to be a one-shot kind of thing. You're going to be continuously working on it, continuously optimizing, because each percent that you optimize is going to mean more dollars for you at the end of the transaction. It's just a matter of getting it to work properly in the beginning. So that's very important here. The next one is the go-to automation. This one is kind of a skip. So think about this just as like skipping over. So I'm not going to do this right now, but just like if I put it right here, and there's some condition that they fulfilled, it'll like skip over this one and go to any one of these areas. Start an automation is great, right? So let's say that if someone's on this pipeline and they purchase something, right? You can have it say, if you've purchased something, then go to automation 25, for example, which I would name like client automation, like a thank you email and setup instructions and things like that is what I would do there. And this automation is pretty much the opposite. And other automation is important because then you can end, if an automation brought them here, what I recommend is dropping, end other automation up here and remove them from their previous automation that they came from, which I think is very important. And then webhook is a really cool thing that I'll go into further depth in the video with the next video, because it lets you use Zapier to do some stuff like sending out custom or handwritten thank you cards, or sending out like a specific kind of mailer based on what neighborhood the prospect is in, or address based or property based. So there's a lot of strength with that webhook, but I'm not going to go into it too deeply right now. So that's basically it for the conditions and workflow. There's no actual like thing that gets sent to the client. There's no contact that gets updated. It's simply a way of breaking apart the current flow into different categories so you can keep better track of things and then really focus your marketing down. A really strong marketing plan has, if-thens and splits and everything all the way down, kind of like this. We'll just, for example, so it'll have different branches and categories, and to be able to go to each one of these steps here and understand in the reporting, where there's a drop off, where there's success, lets you, figure out where to spend your money, because at the end of the day, only one series of emails is going to hit each client, so it's important to figure out exactly which emails are the most effective. So that's it for the conditions and workflow. Next video is going to be contacts. That's a really great one too, because that's a way to keep track of the actual people that you're supposed to be selling to with your phone calls, your personalized touches, whatever you do. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here, and I'm going to start the next one momentarily. So thanks again for joining us on this video.